Good afternoon. Maybe we wait another 5 minutes, wait for people to come in lang.
Yes, Suda.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wait lang. Sino to? Rich, can you tell Adele lang to send me a copy of the new SIPSA, the new cataract pre-op form, pre-approval form. I'll just show it.
Nasaan na?
No, she sent me the old form eh.
Okay. Ito naka-on si Doc.
Doc, the one
Yes.
IOL na may options, Doc. Actually, Doc, ako lang nag-tamper sa
Nilagay mo. Sige, i-ano mo na lang. Can you
official
give me a copy of that?
Okay lang.
Give me a copy of that na lang.
The one with the
Thank you.
IOL, Doc, on below. Okay, we'll send na lang po.
Right. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for attending today's conference. No, let me just a few announcements before we start our conference for today. Just for everyone's information, it's been 4 months, as I have sent out in the memo. It's been 4 months since the implementation of the new PhilHealth circular. Can I share my screen lang? Pwede ako mag-share. Just wanted to give you a heads up kung ano yung nangyayari na. No? So we we have been receiving payments already from PhilHealth. I guess that's from the start of the what do you call this, of yung mga nauna nating ginawa, no? So hang on 1 second. Just wanted to remind everyone on how to properly fill up the form, no? There are new requirements, no? And well, not new requirements. There are requirements for the submission of documents to PhilHealth that medyo maraming ibinalik sa atin, maraming return to the hospital. So I'll just share lang sandali, ha? Very quickly. Where is it? Sorry. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, Doc.
Wait lang. Let me move this lang. Makita. Okay. So this is the, hang on, sorry. This is the SIPSA form that we have to fill up, no, when we are, this is the one we give to Adele, no, for her to apply for your pre-approval, your cataract pre-approval. Make sure that you fill this up well, no, again, complete the clinical information. You have to make sure that you put the correct BCVA, correct refraction, no? And then ito, dinagdag ni Adele to sa baba, yung IOL, is it care of clinic or doctor, or care of hospital, whether monofocal or multitoric. This is because when we apply now, when Adele inputs this in, she has to put in the type of IOL and the type of code, or whether it's coming from you or coming from the doctor. So it's very important for you to fill that up, no? And then when we hang on 1 second, you also have to submit your pre-op and post-op forms, no? I actually created a form already for pre-op and post-op. This was slightly modified upon the request of some consultants, they wanted to separate it into pre-op and post-op, where in fact, when I was talking to PhilHealth, pwedeng isang form na lang, but that's okay. We will try to modify this as we go along. So this is what the Adele sent to your clinic, no? You have to accomplish this, no? We are going to try and do away with the pre-op, but for now, let's comply. Name of patient, date of procedure, and your procedure, laterality. You have to put your date of pre-op assessment, no, your visual acuity, best corrected refraction, and then your signature. And then you submit this with your pre-approval form. You let the patient submit this on the day of surgery, no, or your secretary. Si Eva of PhilHealth in the OR will check this and make sure that this, your preoperative findings, coincide with the SIPSA application that you put in. The data in the SIPSA application. If it's not the same, hindi siya matatanggap, no? So you will have to create another pre-op form. A lot of the reasons for the return to hospital ng claims natin is because magkaiba yung BCVA dito and refraction dito, or ine-erase, no? So nababalik nila. So make sure no erasure. Then of course, you remember 2 weeks later, you will have to submit the post-operative findings, again, with date of post-op assessment, ideally 2 weeks after, no? Best corrected visual acuity, refraction, and then your name and signature. And this one, this again should be submitted to Eva of PhilHealth, no? The biggest reason for return to hospital is walang signature, walang date yung post-op assessment, walang date yung pre-op assessment, since madalas walang refraction na nakasulat, no? So you have to put all the data here, no? We are still trying to find ways to make it a little bit more efficient, so that isang form na lang yung isa-submit natin, no? Because they all submit it at the same time anyway. But for now, this is what we need to do. So I hope everyone will comply with this. So bumaba ang return to hospital natin ng forms. For those of you who have still pending documents, please make sure that you submit them to Eva. No, remember, if you do not submit your post-op form, your claim to PhilHealth will not be submitted. Okay. So thank you very much, and we will try to make this even more efficient by decreasing the number of information that we have to put in. Okay. Any questions? Any clarifications?
Terms,
Rem?
Leo.
Yeah, Leo.
Mervin is recommending that we keep the SIPSA
Mm.
so that just in case PhilHealth asks for it, we can submit them.
Which one?
The form we fill up.
Yun the one we give to Adele?
Yes. Yeah, the one we sent to Adele. Yeah.
But that one is kept by Adele, di ba? O tinatapon na ni Adele yun?
But some of us just send photos.
Okay. Well, sige. Well, I don't agree with that sa PhilHealth, no, but we'll try to fix it. We'll see. Sige, try to keep a copy and then ano na lang.
Okay. Doc, another
Okay.
question.
Hmm.
Syempre, sometimes nagkakaroon ng PCR and the intended code is not followed.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like ECCE3 and then PCR, so magiging, I mean, sulcus, monofocal, tapos doctor supplied pa. What will happen?
That I don't know. We'll have to check with Mervin kung magkaiba yung in-apply natin at magkaiba yung ginawa. So we will have to check. We'll work on that.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
Can I ask
Thank
something,
you.
sir?
Yes, Mitzi.
Yung mga what's this? May mga FACO plus another procedure. How do we go about that? Kasi like I have some pending na may glaucoma drainage device plus FACO or goniotomy plus FACO.
As far as I know kasi, the only codes that they will put yung IOL are the codes that we supplied, no? The ECOD, ECCE 1, 2, 3, no? But we will try to clarify that, yung combined procedures, kung anong code ang ilalagay natin. Kasi ang alam ko, the first information that I got is in the procedure form, you will put the new code, and in the RVS code, you will put what you actually did, no? So that can be FACO with tawag dito, TRAB or ano, but medyo magulo nga ang PhilHealth doon. So we'll get clarification from PhilHealth. So Leo, let's talk to Mervin again. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll keep you posted, no? Please let us know kung natatanggap niyo ng mga bayad niyo. Ako nakaisa na. Meron ako isang nakuhang bayad. Pero that's February 1 yata na kaso yun. Anyway, so thank you very much, and I'll hand over the mic to sino ba? Si Carmela. Carmela's there. Okay, and Ollie. Thank you very much.
Oh, today we have a echo. Today we have a really interesting topic. I'm glad that how many are attending, no? You're gonna learn a lot, and it's about low vision. The patient, the presentation is really well done. So stay tuned. Giving you who's gonna be first? Rich? Okay, Rich, yeah.
Hi, so good afternoon, doctors. Today, Ollie and I will be presenting a low vision case, and I guess just an overview of what's to come. Ollie and I will be giving a brief overview of a patient we encountered, and we'll be discussing the functional difficulties this patient faced, as well as the goals they ended up having within that period, prompting our low vision referral. So this would also involve a brief overview of basic concepts with low vision, as well as an introduction to some devices we might encounter when it comes to low vision. And finally, concluding it with how we addressed our patients' concerns. All right, so starting off. So we have patient JON, a 52-year-old male who came in with a chief complaint of blurring of vision of 1 year. So looking back at this patient's history, he actually had 33 years of recurrent blurring of vision for both eyes. This actually prompted several career shifts and limitations in his job opportunities. So this patient prior to illness was actually baseline ambulatory and independent in all activities of daily living. He used to work initially as a family driver, however, had to shift to becoming a tricycle operator, and later working at a sari-sari store, and eventually became jobless due to his condition. This patient was most prominently unable to read signs and printed materials, and also developed difficulty in ambulation later on in his disease course. So this patient continued to have depression of his visual acuity, prompting consult with us. This patient thereafter received proper management, composed of medical therapy. The patient was epileptic at the time, and we achieved quiescence with the condition, after which the patient underwent cataract surgery, where we were able to improve their visual acuity from counting fingers to 2063 at the time. We thereafter noted a temporary improvement in the patient's function. However, he later developed posterior capsular opacification. So on examination at this time, the patient was 2150 and less than J12 for the right eye and 2100 on the left. However, this was correctable to 2063 on the right, and on the left, this was the maximum. However, the near vision was still correctable to J6 with a near vision lens. Patient was also still with a cataract on the right eye and a PCO on the left eye. And additionally, the patient had a media opacity again for both eyes, as well as ghost vessels, owing to the chronicity of their condition. So this patient was planned for YAG capsulotomy of the operated eye after 3 months. However, during this period, the patient was desirous to regain their function, being able to return to work, at least make some money for his family, and of course, reduce the burden he does for them, considering especially that this patient was reliant on his wife to assist him, to accompany him whenever he goes out of the house or whenever he tries to work or visit the hospital. So this subsequently prompted low vision referral at our institution. And focusing on the patient's functional aspect, again, this patient was a former driver who shifted to a tricycle operator and later stopped due to the recurrence of their symptoms. In that time, patient found out that he could help out at their family's sari-sari store as a means of working, usually handling sales like accepting payments and returning change, as well as repackaging raw goods such as weighing rice and giving it to customers. However, in the span of this line of work, the patient occasionally had trouble telling currency apart, especially with coins and paper bills. The patient also noted difficulty reading their weighing scale for determining the weight of the rice. So this actually caused problems because the patient wasn't always confident whether they were receiving the right amount of change or whether he was giving the right amount of rice to their customers. For the patient's daily activities, he was actually a father of 4. One of his children was working, however, 3 were still students. So for this patient's financial aspect, it was really his wife and his son who were handling most of the patient's earnings, basically, having to supply for him and his 3 other children. So due to the symptoms as well, patient also developed other struggles. For one thing, the patient developed difficulties with ambulation. So his wife ended up having a tendency accompanying him wherever he went, with the patient holding his wife's shoulders just so he doesn't get lost or trip on various obstacles. The patient also noted developing a habit of eating with his hands because he was unable to see his food properly. He usually had diet of fish, and in most occasions, when he would use utensils, the patient would be unable to see or remove the bone from that fish, making this habit of his. Patient was also an avid basketball fan prior to the symptoms, and he enjoyed watching games on TV. However, due to the development and progression of his symptoms, he had to develop a habit of sitting very close to the TV just to see what was happening, if he could see any of it. The patient also, prior to symptoms, had a personal phone. However, on the development of blurring of vision, could no longer read from it properly. So ultimately, the patient just ended up giving his phone to his younger son, just so there's use for it. And because of all these symptoms of the challenges in work or even in daily living, the patient admits to just tending to stay at home doing nothing. And this really raises the concern for why we would have to do the low vision referral for our patient. Now, following this referral, we established several goals for our patient. Chiefly, these would be summarized as being able to regain independence and decreasing burden on his family. Primarily, the patient wanted to be able to return to work, ideally to be able to safely drive a car or at least his tricycle. However, the patient has also shown to be able to work at their sari-sari store prior to the progression of symptoms. So at least there's that. If in any case that there might be limitations to still driving the car. Additionally, the patient wants to be able to ambulate and go outside the house without having to be a burden on his wife or his children, be able to cross streets without having to worry of running into oncoming traffic. And of course, the patient wants to be able to see what he eats without having to worry about maybe choking or being affected by, let's say, bones in the fish he eats. So following this, the WHO actually establishes visual impairment based on two systems. First, we have the ICD-10, which defines it based on your visual acuity and visual field. So low vision is described as a VA of between 2070 to 2400, or a visual field loss of less than 20 degrees, while blindness would involve a VA of worse than 2400, or a visual field loss of less than 10 degrees. So these would be in both the better eye with the best possible correction. The WHO considers a second system as well, which is the ICF, which involves a functional component. So some key concepts to these would be impairment, which would involve the loss or abnormality in structure or function. Disability, which would refer to a restriction in performing an activity in a manner considered good and normal. So if a patient is unable to perform an activity as what you would expect in a normal person, that might already be considered a disability. And finally, a handicap. So a handicap would refer to the impairment that limits the function of a role that should be normal for the individual. Let's say for this patient, he used to be their family's breadwinner. He was the primary worker and earner for his family. And due to his impairment and disability, he was unable to fulfill that role. Now, the International Council of Ophthalmology also defines either total loss of vision or blindness, or partial loss of vision or low vision based on the visual impairment or functional vision. What's important here to note is that two persons might have the same VA, but they could still have vastly different abilities or disability from that visual acuity. So I think integral to our discussion with low vision is function, especially when we consider careers or activities a patient might have. Just because they have a visual impairment that's not as severe as other patients might not necessarily mean that they don't necessarily need the low vision referral. A patient, let's say a pilot or a seamstress, even if they have a VA of a little better than 2070, might still require a low vision referral if this ends up impeding on their work. So how do we correct or at least help patients with low vision? We have one thing we call low vision aids, which are devices designed to enhance the visual performance of persons with low vision. So one of the most common ones are what we call optical aids. So these are usually lenses capable of improving visual performance and can typically be used between near, intermediate, or distance objects or images. And the power of these optical aids are guided by the Kestenbaum rule, where we take the inverse of the visual acuity of the patient, which would thereon give us the magnification in diopters of the resulting lenses. So some examples of these visual aids, first of all, we have telescopes. So these are usually favored for distance or intermediate distance objects, and they improve the resolution or improve the size of images projected on the retina, making them feel closer. So this is typically used for helping patients see like TVs, signs, or billboards. However, due to that magnification, it could make the patient feel that their visual field is even more restricted. And the help of these telescopes are also hindered by poor illumination. Secondly, we have microscopes and magnifiers, which are ideal for near objects or images. And some examples of these are, again, High-plus spectacles, handheld magnifiers, stand magnifiers, and telescopes. So, telemicroscopes. So compared to telescopes, your microscopes and magnifiers offer a sort of better visual field and may be combined with other visual aids. And one thing to note is that the distance of the magnifier away from the object tends to have a focal length, an optimal focal length to maximize your magnification. We also have other electronic aids such as your video magnifiers. So this is composed of a camera and a monitor, and actually has additional features over your regular magnifiers. So you can enlarge images, change the working distance, even change the brightness and contrast. And I'm sure you will recall an example of this from Dr. Carmela's lecture the other week. Other aids we have for low vision are, of course, non-optical aids, which don't use lenses. Instead, we use various methods to improve vision or function. First of which is linear magnification, simply by providing larger print material, as you would see in the first photo, where you have a phone with enlarged digits. Another thing we could consider is lighting control. So typically, natural light is considered adequate, and artificial light could actually be used to allow for better control. The AO recommends that we could use incandescent light of about 60 to 75 watts because it provides a generally more continuous spectrum of light. Other aids you could consider are enhanced contrast, reduced glare, or improved comfort. And we'll actually go through some of these aids as examples and even as the management we've done for our case earlier. So moving on, Ollie will be discussing our management and some interventions.
Thanks, Rich. So today I'll be sharing how we as ophthalmologists can make an immediate difference in the lives of our low vision patients. Not just through diagnosis or prognosis, but by offering practical support while they wait for vision rehabilitation. Like many patients, our patient isn't just losing his vision, he's losing his ability to provide for his family. So his story is not unique, but his goals are clear. He wants to regain function, and that's where we can step in. As we progress, I will be sharing what transpired during our low vision service, referral, and practical tips as to what we can do to improve our patients' lives. So often, once we've done what we surgically, medically, or pharmacologically do, the patient is left in limbo, especially if rehab is delayed. They leave thinking that it's the end of the road, but we can intervene meaningfully before that referral is fulfilled. In many settings, the referral to low vision rehabilitation takes time. Some patients never make it there due to distance, cost, or lack of understanding. While we wait for occupational therapy or rehab services, there's a gap, and that's where we can do more. This patient isn't asking for perfect vision. He came back wanting to help his family again, and that's what we must focus on, functional outcomes. Such as in this case, he wants to, number one, earn again, number two, to assist in their home, their sari-sari store, do some household chores, to read prices, navigate busy streets, handling cash, and to feel useful again and to gain independence. So what we ask ourselves, what we can do now, no? Even not being low vision specialists, we can offer meaningful support. A 5-minute discussion about lighting, showing a handheld magnifier, or simply acknowledging their goals, like wanting to help in the sari-sari store at home, such as in our patient, can change how one copes. It is important for us to understand that language matters. So never underestimate the power of words. Our patients trust us. What we say sets the tone for their outlook. So let's offer function, hope, and direction. So instead of saying there's nothing more that we can do, it might be better if we say, well, we can't fully restore your vision. We can help you function better with what you still have. We also should ask function-focused questions. So instead of focusing solely on acuity, let's ask them about function. Our patient, for example, wants to drive and help in the store. Knowing this, we can tailor even the most basic of advice, like better lighting and magnification. So here are some tools in our pocket. Here are usually you'd see them, no, like handheld magnifiers, yellow filters. Some of us actually wear these sunglasses for glare, flashlights on our mobile torch. Everyone who has a smartphone would have one. Accessibility tools built in on our smartphones, good desktop lighting, and the use of large print labels. In the real world, we usually do not have the ideal scenario where subspecialists are available all the time and are a few clinic doors away from each other. The good news is we don't need an entire low vision clinic in order for us to help. Just a few tools, even using our own phone to show accessibility settings. Because if they don't know that it exists there, it wouldn't matter. This can be a game changer. So you don't need to prescribe high-end devices at your own clinic. Even showing how to turn on phone magnifiers or adding larger labels at home can restore function. Small interventions such as these can have life-changing effects. So here, we took the liberty to show how inexpensive the tools we can put in our pockets can be. So the first is a foldable magnifier standing style, optical lens, around 200 pesos. Not so bad. Around the same price, a portable handheld magnifying glass with LED light. And what's in the middle is a card type LED magnifying glass. This is actually what we bought for the patient. No. So here are a few videos taken during the low vision clinic. Visual acuity without correction at this time was 3200. Allow us to share this with you.
O, Z, H, K, is.
Very good.
Tapos O, A, O, R, Z, is, N. Okay.
Very good.
Tapos D, O, N, H.
See how important the light is.
R ba yan?
R. Oh, pwede na yan.
So see how important the light is. That is just the patient having reading glasses pala. Yeah. So now with the handheld na magnifier.
Sa'yo, ibaba mo, tapos itaas hanggang nakikita. Kita mo na yung last line? Or yung maliit, basahin mo nga.
N, D, is, it.
So it really does make a big difference, no? And finally, if we go more high-end.
I wonder, can see the new map.
So ang binasa niya is this one na. Itong maliit na yan. Sige.
O, Z.
Sabi ko sa'yo,
Sorry, here. So, reading glasses are available online, especially those you think that aren't common. In our patient's case, he needed a +4. A wide range is in the market with prices ranging from, if you're feeling a little bougie, 300 pesos to 99 pesos. So now I had to do an experiment and order the cheapest one. It arrived 2 days after, and just to be sure to recheck it with your own lensometer. This one fell a little bit short of +4, but pwede na, no? It works just fine. So this is an actual video. We asked the patient's permission before putting this here.
Mura lang siya. Ito yung katulad nung kay Doktora.
Sorry, pardon.
So, hawakan mo. Ito yung on switch niya. No? Mafe-feel mo kasi iba yung gas on niya. No? So, i-on mo siya. O-on mo siyang ganon. Yun. Tapos, di ba anong turo ni Doktora sa'yo? Ilapag mo muna. Tapos, iaangat mo siya, di ba? Hanggang mag-clear.
Okay, yan na. Nakikita.
Oh, nakikita mo na. O, sige, babasa nga.
He's wearing the +4, Doctor. We bought online.
Kita na.
Bigas na 1 kilo, 2
One-
kilo.
Kita mo na yung 1 kilo, 2 kilo. Sige.
Makikita ko na kasi medyo laki-laki yun.
So he was really telling us na with the help of that, he can now see better the 1 kilo mark if ever he weighs rice. That's one of his goals kasi.
Mura lang siya.
So here, other options that we can find online, the cheapest ones we can find are, you know, when a person, we live in a digital age. definitely it's difficult for us to type with low vision, but this one helps. It's very good contrast. And with 75 pesos, you now have an LED type na table lamp, battery operated. That can definitely help with illuminating money and so on. So again, these are simple but powerful tools. And a brief hands-on demo of a magnifier, a suggestion to use a mobile flashlight in the store, talking about glare control. There are things that you can do in 5 to 10 minutes that improve safety, confidence, and dignity. We'll share with you what we picked up during our low vision referral for this patient. No? So number one is we really do have to acknowledge remaining visual function. However, on top of that, we also need to provide hope and orientation. We need to demonstrate low-cost aids, the magnifiers, flashlights, sunglasses, and finally discuss safety and contrast at home. Examples. The plate should be in contrast with the color of the food. So not only that, if it helps if the mat or maybe yung table would also contrast with the plate. So this patient, di ba, hirap siya gumamit ng utensils, so kinakamay niya na lang. But if you can see here, if you have, kunyari, white rice, never put them on white plates also, because they won't be able to see that. Put them on a different colored plate. That way they can finally see where the white rice is. Next is never rearrange his stuff. According to, ang kalat niya ay kalat niya. They would usually memorize where they place their own things. So avoid placing cords loosely lying on the floor. It would definitely trip anyone. Tape them if you must. Contrast the edge of every step if they have stairs at home. So if you don't have enough for lighting, then put tapes that would have different contrast. No? And mentally condition the family members to be more patient and forgiving, always remembering that the patient would not ask for their help if he is able to. So lastly, we ought to encourage independence. So there are a lot of applications now, and we will be showing you some of these, like one here. So last week we discussed about Be My Eyes. You can actually, as ophthalmologists, you can actually sign up. And even if you're not an ophthalmologist, first, as long as you're a seeing person, you can sign up for this. And then may mga point system pala siya. One of my friends kasi actually responded to one of the calls. Kasi hindi mahanap ng person with low vision yung glasses niya. And tinuro niya lang around kung saan kasi nalaglag. And true enough, nung nakuha niya na, malaki naman yung pasasalamat. So, all of us have smartphones naman, di ba? So, there's a feature here. For example, if you're an iPhone user, you go to accessibility. There are a lot of ways for us to help. No? One is Zoom. You can actually use that and it zooms in and out. Teka, ba't hindi nag-zoom? Yeah. Is it playing ba? Ayun. It should. Another is changing the text. Now we can make it bold, larger, and or even if you're not low vision, sometimes you need to make it larger. They increase the contrast. You increase the contrast, or you invert. No, this is better, like this. It's inverted.
Spoken
Or-
content. Speak
Yeah.
selection. On. A speak button will appear when you select text. Speak screen. On. Swipe down with 2 fingers from the top of the screen to hear the content of the screen. Speech control.
Yun. So what I did with this is I used 2 fingers, swipe down. Anything on the screen, it will read. So that's really just part of your phone. It's built in. You don't have to ask the patient to download anything. So we did a little social experiment, Rich and I, no? To be able to see if it is indeed easy to use.
What can I do to protect my eyes from describe.
and
Product.
Seeing AI.
Currency.
So we used currency. Kunyari, we will use Philippine peso.
Recognizing Philippine peso.
Kunyari, I'm a some customer, and Rich had frosted spectacles.
400 po. Ito
So
po.
I need
Thank you.
change, diba? So we use the app.
1,000 pesos.
1,000. Sige,
Oh, it said 1,000 pesos. Medyo mahirap pala siya.
100.
Oo.
50 pesos.
Teka.
500 pesos.
Ito, 500. So, 600.
Yan,
Thank
500
you.
pesos. So in doing so, parang you can leave the patient be, use the app, and nakaka-function siya, nakaka-contribute siya sa bahay nila.
Kano?
I mean,
400.
that's what matters most naman eh. So when you do refer, make it goal-directed. Collaborate with your occupational therapy partners. Tell the low vision therapist what the patient wants to do. That let's not waste passively. Or let us not wait passively. Let's act together, and collaborative, goal-driven approach can make rehab more successful and give the patient a real sense of progress. So in summary of our low vision intervention, specifically he wants to work in the sari-sari store. So we said, Dr. recommended all prices in bold, pen markers in the weighing scale, use of reading glasses and magnifiers to see finer print, memorize the texture and size of coins. The coins differ in size and shape and texture, the rigidity of the, for a reason, in order for him to discriminate them. Segregate and organize bills. That way he knows where the 20 are, the 50 are. Primary caretaker advice, advice to adjust the patient's environment in order for him to adapt and become more independent. So going back to driving, his tricycle is also one of his specific goals. What we did was advise to practice maneuvering safely with this new BCVA. However, we really have to be honest and explain to him his limitations. We also advise to avoid poorly lit and unfamiliar routes. That way, he doesn't really get to harm himself or anyone. To be able to ambulate and eat on his own. No, the wife was advised to contrast his food with his plate. Avoid obstructions at home, avoid changing the placement of furniture, relocating stuff without his knowledge, even as simple as telling them not to shift his toothbrush somewhere else would be of great impact kasi it will stop him from looking for. And then advice to consider using a cane along with occupational therapy referral if kinakailangan niya na talaga. So this is one referral supported by a few small interventions can do. We don't have to be specialists in everything, but we can be the bridge that brings hope and function back to our patients. This is the impact we aim for, not just restored vision, but restored dignity. We cannot underestimate how valuable it is to give a person their role and purpose back, even with a limited sight. So we don't need to do everything, but we can do something. Let's make our clinics places where patients feel seen, heard, and supported, not just diagnosed. Thank you for what you already do, and thank you for being open to doing even more because our patients are waiting, not just to see, but to live. I think that's the end of our.
So, okay, I hope you guys were listening. I don't think I could do a, I don't think I can do a lecture as good as that. That was super good. They got the gist of how you can incorporate low vision in your practice in the future without even referring. Just have to say that, okay, we were lucky enough that this patient had a little better vision in one eye, so that the magnifiers from Shopee and Lazada can really help him, and also those high ads. However, when you have a patient with poorer vision, these Lazada magnifiers do not work for them. Why? Because the quality of the lens of the Lazada the cheap ones, yeah, it's really not that good, diba? Compared to the ones that are really for low vision. So, but it's good to have. It's good for people that have moderate, maybe mild to moderate low vision. Pwede na. And depending on the goals, he just wanted to see the prices and all of that. It is really okay. He could do that already. You have a patient who wants to go back to school, he might have a difficult time with that. So it's really dependent on the patient. And secondly, the high addition glasses, which I saw ang dami, no? That's really good, the 92 pesos and all of that. But if you have +6, +5 even sometimes, you'll have to just take out the other. You have to occlude because if you have +5, +6 and above, you'll have to put the reading material nearer, so it's nakakaduling na. So ako, when it's 500 and above, it's just one lens that has it. So that I had a patient who liked the 1000. She was young, she's a student, but she wanted it kasi hands-free. So I gave her 1000 and she's reading here and she preferred that. So that's how she goes to school. So this was really so now if there are any questions, but I think, if you just know this, you'll pass na in the board exams. The low vision part. It's very, no, and it was very clear. Well, if I'm the one making the questions, but I'm not the one, so I don't know. Might be harder. Okay, so are there any questions? But you just really, this is really for Ollie really wanted that when to refer a patient with low vision, it should really be anytime you're treating the patient, even while, as long as they want to do something that they cannot do. Don't wait for the end of treatment, because what are they doing in the middle? They're just gonna get depressed. So are there any questions, comments? Okay, sure. Dr. Valero?
Yeah, question lang. Like for this patient, diba, may inaantay pang procedure na gagawin sa kanya. When do you now step in with the more expensive gadgets, more expensive aids? Because you are still expecting maybe some more improvement in the future, but you want to help the patient in the meantime. How do you now navigate that? Parang, okay, there may be some expensive equipment that you can use later on, but do you prescribe it now or later na lang? And how do you now bridge the gap from then until magamot yung patient?
Yeah. Am I on? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you just have to tell the patient. But if the patient kasi can afford, sometimes depending on what it is that they want to do, let's say they want to go back to school, they're just really gonna have to buy the device during. But a lot of times, if they don't really need it and then it's still gonna get better, the patients will wait. They will wait. But you give them all these options with a phone, what to do with the phone, how to use the phone apps and the phone accessibility, so that at least while waiting and not buying anything, they'll be able to function. Actually, the maybe most of the time really that you're spending to talk to the patients is really to talk about their options, to let them know that this is out there. Now, it depends on how much you want to be able to do something at this point in your life, diba? And that's why they're thankful because at least they know that, sige, babalik ako after ng aking injection or whatever. That's what happens.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's important for us to realize na parang there are options out there, and then just by giving options to the patients, they have something to look forward to, 'di ba? Na parang okay, we're still treating now, but eventually you will still need vision rehab, but start working on it now, no? Para parang open the possibility lang. Para din pagdating nung time na gagawin na, hindi na rin very foreign sa kanila yung concept of vision aids, 'di ba? Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, there are no more? I hope you guys, not so good attendance. So how sad for the others that missed this. They missed half of their lives. No, this was really a good lecture. Thank you, Oli and Rich. And yeah, Sherman, if you have any other...
Oli,
or
meron...
Doc Rem, you
Sino
have...
ba? Rem and Oli, may...
Yes,
ano tayo?
Doc.
Okay.
Oli.
We just have a few words, Doc, from one of our industry partners, Cure Corp. Let me introduce to you, Ma'am Christine Rojas Dantes, our district manager, for a little brief presentation. Hold on. Ay, close ko muna pala ito. Hold on. Then, this. Right. Ano?
Okay na po.
Nag-share na ba siya? Not yet. It's this one. Okay.
To the next doc.
Yeah, you can just press that. Okay.
Dear doctors, again, good afternoon. And we are grateful and privileged to be part of your meeting. Again, I'm Christine Rojas Dantes, the district manager assigned for South Team. And with me is Miss Russell May Salva, our dear territory manager handling Makati area. So again, doctors, thank you for giving us this opportunity. So I would like to introduce our company. So Cure Corp started last July 2020, but we all started as Altea Med before. So Altea Med has been in the market for almost 15 years, and then July 2020, which transferred to Cure Corp. So Cure Corp is a 100% Filipino-owned company. And then, of course, Dr. Cure Corp is your partner in health. So today we expanded to ophthalmics and nutraceuticals for human preparation and even for veterinary eye care. And then, of course, our dream is to be the partner in health of every Filipino. And then our purpose is to help people live better with safe, affordable, and effective medication of the highest quality. So introducing to you, doctors, our dear partners, so Ophthalmic Technology, Sunways, Tequila, Ophthalmic Solution, and for our Optima brands, Excellent Eye Care. So let me introduce to you, doctors, our premium lens. So I will start with our brand of Vistazo. This one is also a trifocal, multifocal lens. It is a natural yellow, doctors. As you can see, with this, nabablock niya lang yung mga harmful blue light. But the good blue light can direct na makapasok sa mata ng patient. And it also a hybrid, hydrophilic and hydrophobic content siya, doctor. This design is a quad loop design. So with no glistening, easy to fold and inject. Made in materials in USA. Our brand po is Vistazo. So it is 25% water content na po with 11 rings design, additional 3.5 for near, and then 1.75 for intermediate. So ito po yung counterpart ng isang lens namin. Ito po yung recommended A constant niya based on different biometry, so for ultrasound and optic, and then SRKT2 and T po. So we use Vistazo trifocal injector, Comfort D Plus for this lens. So ganito po yung itsura niya, doctors. With this, medyo monofocal lang yung nagamit with the picture, pero siya yung ginagamit namin with trifocal. So easy to inject lang siya, slide lang po, and then insert yung cartridge. So this one naman, our lenses naman with our Optima brand. So
Sorry,
sa
can you go back to the loading? It's butterfly?
No po, doctor. Iba po itong isa. Yung isa po kanina.
Hindi, ba't itong sa Vistazo? So this one is for what? The Vistazo?
Vistazo po, doc.
Bakit yung next picture butterfly?
And sa ano yan, doc? Sa next lens po namin, yung sa Optima.
Okay, so medyo magulo yung slide. So for the Vistazo, it's just the first one.
Yes po. Sorry, doc. Error lang siya sa slides po. This one is for Optima brands, cartridge butterfly po.
Okay. So if we could request sana for you to provide samples for the residents to learn how to load Vistazo. Kahit expired or yung mga na gamit na para lang matuto silang load ng IOL. Thank you.
Yes po, doctor. Thank you. Vistazo po is made in USA. Apo. And then however, Vistazo trifocal EF and EDOF made in India. So this one, doctors, thank you for all the doctors na gumamit na po. And we are happy, doctors, kasi for the past few years, talagang first time namin makapasok. Isa to sa pinakapangarap namin, makapasok sa Makati Med. So thank you. Thank you, doctors. This one po yung Optima EF trifocal. Original price niya po is 16,900. Pero binigay po namin siya ng 14,083. Yung Vistazo po is 28,000, but we can give 24. And then with Ido po, hopefully, anytime soon, makapasok naman po. This one naman is 12,500, but we can give it 11,000.
Your Vistazo is FDA approved, and so is the EDOF.
Yes po.
So what's the difference between your Optima trifocal and the Vistazo in terms of?
Vistazo po, doctor, aside from made po siya ng USA, quad loop design po siya.
But in terms of design, in terms of the optics and results, are they similar? Ano yung pagkakaiba nila?
Similar din po, doc.
So ang ano niya, ang near and intermediate nitong Optima is what? 3?
Po nung sa Vistazo is 3.5. Dito sa Optima is 3.5 din po. And then with intermediate na 1.75.
So pareho lang sila, exactly the same.
Yes po. Made in USA and
India lang. Yun lang kung saan gawa. Sige.
yes po, doctor.
Okay.
Yes po. All our lens po and even eye drops and medical supplies are all FDA approved po. So for our other lenses naman po, we have also available for monofocal lenses. So this one is Vistazo monofocal, also made in USA with a constant of 118.4. This one po is affordable, the price of 3,740. Monofocal po, 3,740. Made in materials in USA. And then we have counterparts for this. So Vistazo Yellow with additional benefits lang po ng UV block protection. So same A constant po. This one is 5,390. And then for other brands of Optima, we also have mga foldable, monofocal, spheric and non-spheric, and also rigid. And then mga ACIOL din po. So that's affordable lenses made in India. So yeah. For rigid po, we have two size 5mm and 6mm. And then we also have ACIOL. So, no. And then for our injectors of all brands of Optima, we use Comfort Cartridge Butterfly 2.4 ml. So yan. We also have available din po na mga knives, 15 degree, 2.2, 2.75, and 5.2. And then for gels, we have two characteristics. One is sodium hyaluronate cohesive, and then HPMC po Kata gel. Then for also consumables, we have Catacol, and then our brand of Trypan Blue, MediBlue. This one is both 280 each. And good thing dito po is nakabox na siya per vials po. So single. And then we also have available of surgical consumables like eye drips. Size po is 120 by 100 with irrigation pouch na and attached Tegaderm. Hindi pa lang po siya pre-cut. So you need to cut pa lang po. So introducing our ophthalmic drops. So we have 3 drops for artificial tears. We have just tears, carboxymethyl cellulose. This one is 10 ml na 0.5%. We use stabilized oxychlorocomplex that upon exposed to light po, nawawala na siya. So good thing about this is preservative free in the eye na po. Then same with our Justice Max. So this one is recommended naman for moderate to severe dry eyes. Also comes in 10 ml. We also use SOC. So long-lasting promotes corneal healing na po. Contact lens friendly siya kasi pwede na pong ipatak yung drops even nakakabit po yung contact lens ng patient. Since wala naman po siyang preservative. And you can use long-term po. For Hypromilose, our brand naman po is Artiplimose. Comes in 10 ml. And then for single preparation of antibiotics, we have Tobramycin. This one po is made in Korea, but all of our eye drops except this one po is made in India. This one po is made in Korea and 6 ml. And then for single preparation of moxifloxacin, preservative free na po ito, doctor. So some doctors use this for intracam. Since preservative free siya, plain Moxi Optomox 10 ml. And then through combination of Tobramycin plus dexamethasone, our brand is Tobdex Free, 5 ml. For our brand of moxifloxacin with combined to Dexa, Modex I. And then we also have one brand for anti-glaucoma, a combination of dorzolamide plus timolol, Blitidor po yung brand namin. And then for eye vitamins, we have 2. So one is a combination ng astaxanthin, lutein, zeaxanthin, omega-3, B-complex, bilberry. This one po is very proud na under na po siya ng AREDS2 formula. Ang lutein niya po is 20 mg, zeaxanthin 2 mg, and 1 mg na po ng astaxanthin. Aside pa po dun sa vitamins and minerals. That's it. Yes po. Pwede na po siyang once since 20 and 2 mg. And then this one naman po is we recommend for those patient na diabetic. So helps to reduce the progression of diabetic retinopathy. Alabay po, 600 mg na yung content niya ng ala. With benefits po ng B-complex and chromium biquality. So yeah. So this one po is for diabetic retinopathy siya, kaya lang lower dose po siya 150 mg. Ang bago po namin is yung Alapay. But we still have this brand po. So that's all for our presentation, doctors. Thank you. As of now po, ang available po namin sa mga Mercury is yung certain drops pa lang po, like Justice Max, Maxobless, Modex I, and Vitidor. So hopefully po, kung kaya din namin i-process inside pharmacy. Yes po ako. Actually, newly accredited po kami because dun sa Optima trifocal. Wala pa po. Naka-line up pa lang sa amin. Kasi for the long run po, almost 17 years in the business, more on dispensing doctors po kami. So, nag-start kami into market lang noong 2020. Opo, no. Hopefully, process po namin, doctors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Siguro Dr. Forrest and Dr. Paulino will talk to you about the other surgical supplies to look into possibly using that. So since they're there, they can talk to you na lang. Thank you. So thank you everyone for coming to today's conference. It's great that we can hear from our residents on low vision, and I'd like to thank Carmela for for her passion in pushing for this, and hopefully we learned a little bit more and we're able to do something for our patients. So again, please take note of the paperwork that we will have to comply with for PhilHealth. So mababawasan yung return to hospital natin. Please take note that there's only one person in the hospital who's taking care of our documents, that's Eva. So let us not parang overwhelm her with a lot of return to hospitals na papers. So we just have to make sure that we comply with all the requirements. I know it's a pain, but these are PhilHealth requirements. We have very little control over it. So ayusin na lang natin yung pag-submit para mas efficient tayo. We are constantly in touch with our PhilHealth office to find ways to make everything more efficient for everyone. So it's less of a pain for all of you, and all of us, and so that we get paid more quickly. We are still monitoring updates from PhilHealth and PAO regarding IOL requirements. PhilHealth, PAO, if you remember, submitted a list of IOLs to PhilHealth and their classifications. We're just waiting for them to approve that to see which one is to be considered monofocal, which is considered multifocal, etc. There are some issues with not EDOF, but the extended monofocal. So they're trying to settle that issue first. But for now, EDOF is still considered multifocal. So we already have a request to put in an EDOF. So I think Cure, magpasample na kayo ng EDOF nyo para masubukan. Please talk to Dr. Forrest again and Dr. Listano and Dr. Paulino. We will need to request this from our purchasing. I think Dr. Uy used it already na ba? Hindi pa. Wala pa. Sige, we'll wait na lang for word from those who have used it to see their review. But yes, so for now, yun muna. Rest assured, Leo is hard at work making sure everything is more efficient for everyone. So maraming salamat everyone. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.